Well, the Prime Minister very happy to let Barnaby Joyce run his debate on net zero at the moment, which only exposes divisions within the coalition over its energy policy. Joining us live now on this Tuesday morning, National Senator Matt Canavan. It's good to see you as always, Matt. So do you concede at all that the mixed messaging is doing damage to the coalition?
Well, I think we should sort this issue out, Peter. That would be ideal. I think we should have a debate in the joint party room about our position on net zero emissions. The Liberal and National Party room has never debated net zero emissions. I mean, despite it being perhaps the most radical socialist plan ever envisaged for the Australian economy, our party room has never actually had a full debate on the issue. It was imposed on us by Scott Morrison in late 2021, and then it's just been allowed to stay there. So why don't we just have the debate? We had such a debate at the Liberal National Party in Queensland at our annual convention on the weekend, and I've never seen the party more unified after it. You know, there's been a lot of tension about the issue in our own party, among our own membership for many years. We finally had the debate, and 99% of LNP members voted to scrap net zero, and it united the party in a way that I hadn't seen for years. So it shouldn't be surprising, but it is the normal lesson that when you've got an issue that is causing a bit of tension, where there is a bit of disagreement, the best thing to do is to talk it out, to have the debate. Don't sweep it under the carpet. Don't ignore it. Don't think it's going to go away. Just have the debate. So why don't we just have the debate in our party room?
As the Prime Minister pointed out yesterday, by nixing net zero, are you saying that climate change isn't real?
What an absurd thing to say. I mean, net zero emissions is a plan that's 3 years old. I mean, no one had ever heard of net zero emissions until 7 or 8 years ago. There's no magic about the 2050 figure. It's just an arbitrary year that's been chosen. And as I say, it's a massive socialist plan. Net zero emissions by 2050 means that the government has to direct how you drive, what you can eat, how we make power, how we make everyday things, the whole thing. They plan the whole economy. Now Joseph Stalin only did 5-year plans. This government thinks it can do 25-year plans. They're just not work. It just don't work. These sort of socialist plans never work, and this one is not working. Because how about the Prime Minister simply deliver on what he promised? How about he does that instead of raise these ridiculous points to distract attention from the fact that he hasn't lowered power prices like he said he would. He said his net zero plan would cut your power bill by $275. Now they don't even have any plan to lower energy prices. They've instead gone up massively. He said, the Prime Minister said, that by signing up to net zero emissions, we'd have these wonderful new industries that would create thousands of more jobs in critical minerals and hydrogen. The hydrogen situation is a complete mess, a massive waste of taxpayer dollars. And even on the critical minerals side of things, we've lost our nickel industry since we signed up to net zero. That's not happening either. So rather than insulting other people, why doesn't the Prime Minister just deliver what he said he would do?
Well, speaking on delivery, Chris Bowen is going to unveil a 2035 emissions target next month, signalling he'll adopt a target range rather than a specific figure. Have you got a thought on that?
Well, again, can the government just do what it said in the first instance? But this is typical of any politician that hasn't delivered on their promises. What's the standard response? Well, let's just make a new promise and hope that people forget about the old promise.
Well,
I
65 and 75%. How would you feel about that?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's totally absurd. I mean, we're not even going to get to the 43% by 2030. Yeah. That's my point here. That we're not going to get to the 82% renewable target by 2030. So why set a 2035 target when you haven't met your 2030 target? I mean, mow the lawn this week. Don't promise to do it next month. Just focus on the here and now, because here and now the Australian people are suffering. We've had the biggest drop in living standards in the developed world. Many families are doing it very tough. I do think that the economy is slowing down with commodity prices coming off. There are real concerns about the health of our economy. I'd much prefer the government focus on jobs today than an arbitrary emissions target in 10 years' time.
The government is working on a plan to sideline the Greens, hopefully have the coalition on board when it comes to reforming green tape rules and act on environmental approvals by the end of the year. So Murray Watt's going to announce this later on today, Matt. Would you be open to any kind of partnership on that front?
Oh, look, the devil's in the detail. I mean, the government's previous attempt at environmental reform last term would have just made it harder to do business in this country. It was going to impose massively new obligations on offsets, make it harder to get jobs going, industries going. So that's why we oppose that. I mean, I'm certainly not going to give a blank cheque to the government. I think the Senate should do its job and properly review any proposal put forward. And if there is to be any facilitation of investment, it needs to be across the board. I certainly do not agree that somehow multinational investors in wind factories and solar factories get a free pass while farmers and miners have to suffer through interminable court cases launched by green activist groups. Surely there has to be a level playing field for all investment in this country. There shouldn't be one industry that's given a free kick.
Okay, Murray Watt's coming up in the program a little later too. Just a final one before we go, Matt. This morning there's a question around AUKUS again. A leading Washington think tank has urged Albanese and Trump to scale back Pillar 2 of AUKUS by pivoting towards autonomous systems, long-range strike capacity and integrated air defences. Have you got a thought on that this morning?
Well, my main thought on this is it does concern me that the Australian government seems to have the AUKUS agreement on autopilot. All of the proposals and ideas that are coming forward on AUKUS seem to be coming from the United States, as is this report today. So I haven't seen this report, and some of the ideas sound somewhat sensible, but I would much prefer if Australia and Australian entities, the government and related government think tanks, were pushing in the interests of Australia in the development of AUKUS. But this government seems a reluctant participant at best in the AUKUS arrangements, and because of that, it seems like the future defence relationship between the United States and Australia will be largely written by the interests of those people in the United States, not our own country. I just think the government needs to get its hands dirty a lot more on the AUKUS agreement.
All right, we'll leave it there, Matt. That's Matt Canavan joining us live on this Tuesday morning out of Canberra. We'll talk to you again soon.